not be the same. Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent. I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Hey guys, Robert and Ingrid here, and we just got done watching the original Godzilla vs. King Kong. We've seen and gone over the recent one, but now we're talking about the original, and that's more like it is what I say. After the prior movie, this is more the traditional, what you're going to see going forward with Godzilla movies.
Well, that's definitely good to hear, because, yeah, this one, despite the fact that some parts are very, very dated, there's definitely a lot more of a structure, and they definitely had a lot more idea of what they actually wanted to do with this, and as such, it was generally structured better and was a lot more satisfying to watch.
Definitely. Now, first of all, let's get the obvious out of the way. Kong is fugly in this.
Yeah, Kong is just...
He's
roadkill.
He looks like roadkill, but given how Toho style usually, it's not that surprising. But I do like how they give an explanation of why he's so big. It's those berries he eats and drinks. I mean, okay, you had to do this. Everyone knows you had to do it. Regular King Kong, he's too much of a wimp. He'd be stepped on. Wouldn't be Bambi versus Godzilla level one-sidedness, but it'd be close. But yeah, but with this movie, and that the humans were not bad, and in the English dub, they cracked me up.
Oh yeah, there are definitely some lines like, "Ain't no monkey's business around here," like...
I'm sick of Godzilla! Or,
I admit that watching those guys run sports commentary essentially on like the initial battle between Godzilla versus Kong was very funny, to the point where they were even flipping a coin where who ends up winning this one.
Yep, like Godzilla, King Kong is a thinking animal. I think they made a lot of assumptions in all that stuff.
But it's just like, you can't really blame them for making those assumptions based on like what they previously know.
But Godzilla has shown he's a smart being, so to make it be like, oh, he has a pea brain, what gave you that idea?
Yeah.
But yeah, and then but I was talking about the other two. I forget their names, but the two other humans that we've been following around, the real goofy ones, especially the one with the wire that's stronger than steel, and yeah, it's like he's holding it outward, but you realize he's leaning back on it, but you're like, okay, when did you set it up? And then he's swinging on it like he's Tarzan. It's like, okay, we're just jumping back and forth, but we're not getting context to how he set it up. But that was funny, and it set up what they needed to get Kong there. They used his wire. But my favorite bit was he said, "You are welcome, but if the giant monster of the mountain comes out, he's not how responsible if he eats you up." Fair enough. Maybe we should get the boat out of here. Oh, don't be ridiculous. Stuff like, but let's talk about the elephant in the room, the natives.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you think did it worse? This or Gamera?
That is a a good question, because I think that they were uniquely terrible in their own ways.
I would say Gamera, because at least this one you could have the excuse of saying they're just following the original King Kong. That you at least have that excuse for this one. With Gamera, there is no excuse.
It's just like, times have moved on. You could research that at least a little bit better.
True. But again, it was probably a throwback. You know what I mean? But now, and by the way, the octopuses that Kong fights, some of those were real.
Oh, yeah, those definitely looked like they were real.
And it's a known rumor, not sure if it's 100% a fact, but the special effects guy, he took one of them and ate it for dinner. Who else can you say gets to say, I eat my special effects? I'm not kidding. But yeah, once the big match actually, started, for the one, how they just, much like in the recent one, they carry Kong and then drop him, although different spots. In the other one, they drop him in the Arctic. Here, they drop him almost right on Godzilla.
And it's a bunch of balloons.
Yep, a bunch of balloons. But once the fight starts, it's awesome. I think it's better than the last fight.
Oh, yeah, it was really well choreographed. It's just like, you've got, punch down, drag out, dragging rocks into buildings.
Shoving a tree down its throat.
Pieces that you were just waiting to get destroyed.
The pagoda, you always...
Oh, yeah, it's just like, there's no way that's surviving it. When are you gonna get... Oh, yep, there you go.
It's right in between them. But then there's some weird stuff, like the stop motion of Godzilla drop-kicking Kong. That was clearly done stop motion. Or that one shot where they're in the distance and look like hand puppets. You know what I'm talking about? Where they're like, they're just moving back and forth. It's like, are they dancing or is that hand puppet just tussling around?
Yeah, I get what you say now that you mention that.
But again, for the most part, it is very good. And now they do set up some weird stuff like Kong getting strength from electricity and Godzilla hates it. Of which case, I should point out, it's later made very clear that's not as accurate. In later movies will make it clear that's not as accurate. It's man-made electricity that Godzilla hates. Natural electricity he doesn't mind, but I think Kong's electricity leans more towards the former than the latter. But yeah.
I think it's well enough done that it doesn't make the end feel like it's cheap or out of nowhere as in the previous movie.
Oh yeah, definitely. And yeah, ending with Kong as the victor. I mean, it makes sense because you gotta remember, at this point, Kong is the more popular of the two. Yeah, at this point, Kong, everyone adores Kong. Japan adores Kong. America adores Kong. Godzilla, it's like, he bombed twice. 3 times if you count the American version. And there's a reason why they just brought him back and they continued on forward. I forgot, did we talk about what they had planned for Godzilla 3 originally? Did we talk about
I think we mentioned that in the pre-recording, but I don't think we mentioned it in the actual
Let's
video.
talk about it right here then. It was going to be called Bride of Godzilla.
Oh no.
But it would have been like this. They would have made some robotic female Godzilla. How they would have known what a female would have looked like is beyond me. Godzilla would have fallen in love with it, would have taken it to where the other surviving Godzillasaur are, and then blow up a nuke and blow them all up to Kingdom Come. Now, to be fair, though, it would have been a nuke, which is like, wouldn't that make it stronger? But who cares?
Yeah, that's just plot holes.
Plot hole, and that's such a downer ending.
Yeah.
And, again, so many contrivances. I'm glad instead they just kept Godzilla literally on ice until now. And now, of course, some people like to say that the fight was a draw. To a degree, I can understand why they would say that, you know what I mean? Because Godzilla could still wake on up and pull Kong right underwater. But I think it's a definitive win for Kong. Just like in the recent one, it was a definitive Godzilla win. Like, hands down, he killed Kong, technically. But yeah, though, for this game started and the colorization was good. The music was very good, although to be fair, one of the downsides of the American version is that a lot of Akira Ikufube's music was not used. Instead, they just went with stock Universal's music.
Yeah, that is a loss.
But for the moment, even with that, it works here. And at least the natives' music, which I loved, how one of the two goofy guys decides, okay, let's get some of that berry juice, have Godzilla drink it, and I love how he actually personally does the drums and everything, and they just use recordings of the natives. Where they got that recording is beyond me.
Yeah, and then there's sort of lines about just sort of like, hey, I need to trade out so I can keep up the drums, because, like, drumming's not really an easy thing to do.
Oh, yeah, that, which is fine, that was actually smart, but it's like, did they record and did it ever make it clear that they recorded the natives? Because I don't recall they doing that.
Yeah, I was wondering where they got that recording from.
I mean, we know they had the tape recorder, or the radio, or whatever, but it's like, but you're recording them and they were doing the drums then, too. How did you get one without the drums and it's just them chanting? Best not to think about it.
Yeah, that's a relatively minor nitpick, all things considered.
But again, overall, this felt like a nice blend of the two monsters and the human story. I'll be honest, I think the human story here is better than the remake.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's a lot more balanced on both sides of the equation. It's just like you've got the military people trying to manage Godzilla, you've got this kind of like... Well, in this case, it was the corporate bits trying to get Kong. Felt more amusing here than they did evil.
Oh, yeah, especially again, the guy, I'm sick of Godzilla! Just that guy saying that, it's just like... and whoever did the English dub was hilarious. But overall, I give this this almost an 8.5 to a 9.
Yeah, I think I would fell in that general range
standard
as well, because good movie.
Yep. Now, we got some of the better ones coming forward. In fact, I think the next one is... Hold on. The next one on our list would be... There's Godzilla versus... Hold on. Ghidorah, the three-headed monster. To be fair, you could just do Mothra versus Godzilla next as well. Your call.
I guess we'll see.
They came out the same year, so...
All right, then. We'll see.
But either way, those are very good ones. Especially if we're doing Ghidorah. You remember how Ghidorah was, right?
Oh, yeah, I do.
This would have been his first appearance, and if not this would have been Mothra's her second appearance in movie history, but her first in Godzilla. And trust me, it's going to be a case that when it comes to Mothra, they reuse this movie's plot point quite often in later revivals.
All right, then.
But not in a bad way. All right, then. So this is our first really high... this is our second high-rated one. Now, actually, where would you rate this compared to the original? I'd say...
It's really hard to compare since it feels like both movies are kind of doing different things.
Definitely. I would say they're equal.
Yeah, I would say that they're relatively equal.
For different reasons. But, again, one of the next two might surpass it, because we are still in the high... We're now reaching the high point of the Showa era.
Okay.
So, yeah. We'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.